Great folks, it's yet another time to get impacted on Amagut Radio Communications. And remember, our theme this quarter is Lagos as economic gateway of Africa, prospects and possibilities. Yes, Lagos as economic gateway of Africa, prospects and possibilities. I'm your anchor, Abiodun Abari. Now, let's get into it. Okay, we usually refer to Lagos as that hyper city, that city with energy, bustling energy, like comparable to New York, okay, occupying that narrow strip of land along the bight of Benin, of course, having that population estimated maybe around 26 million people, and the economic output being generated surpassing several sovereign African nations. And you know that if Lagos were a country and being ranked GDP wise, of course exceeding GDP of nations like Kenya, Angola, Ghana, and so on, Lagos should be ranking maybe a fourth, fifth country if a country talking about GDP wise. Okay, so you have to also understand that even before the oil boom, all right. Lagos's location, the geography itself, gives you that advantage in terms of trade. Okay, I mean, being bounded by the Atlantic Ocean. So that evolutionary narrative is actually well rooted in its geography. Okay, so well shaped by historic trade networks being pushed right by the aggressive industrialization, and of course coupled with the financial drive, financial engineering, technology. Okay, and you see that what you have in terms of the structural pillars of the economy, right from the deep sea ports of Lekki to the digital hubs of Yaba. I'm talking of the industrial clusters in Ikeja, in Solo, okay, and of course talking about the what you can say is the financial premium financial real estate of the Eco-Atlantic city. So Lagos is well positioned when we talk about that. And recall last episode we talked about the geographical imperative. Okay, geographical imperative in terms of being blessed, okay, with a network of lagoons, creeks, islands, and which open directly into the Atlantic Ocean. So that's that unique maritime topography actually positions Lagos as a natural trading post. Okay, that's long before Nigeria was formed, long before Lord Lugard actually amalgamated northern and southern Nigeria. Okay. And recall I also talked about the legacy of the twin ports of Apapa and Tinkan, and how they were no longer viable in terms of being able to support modern trade. Okay, and you talk about even severe traffic congestion along the access corridors. Okay, and of course the shallow draft limitations which prevent larger modern vessels from berthing. All right, so and of course aging infrastructure will no longer support the operations, and what you had was that Nigeria was actually losing a lot of trade, okay, to neighboring countries. Okay, and you understand that of course these ports used to handle millions of 20-foot equivalent units annually, and processing industrial raw materials, consumer goods, machinery, vehicles, that are meant for the hinterland of Nigeria, and of course landlocked countries like Niger and Chad. So of course these limitations brought about the revolution, the evolution of the Lekki deep sea ports, which is actually well positioned, okay, and actually also enhances Lagos's status as that economic gateway for Africa. So with its natural draft depth of up to 16.5 meters, the Lekki deep sea port, of course, allows supersized post-Panamax container vessels to berth seamlessly, okay, in Nigeria, right? So and that infrastructure has actually dramatically altered the trade dynamics in Africa, in West Africa, and in Africa, undoubtedly. Yes, and I talked about three main areas, right? Because first, Lagos can now receive massive mother vessels, right? So we can now act as a regional sorting and distribution hub for smaller feeder vessels going to other West African ports, as against what was happening previously when the Tinkan and Apapa ports were actually not effective. Right? So, and of course, we also talk about the efficiency, right? The efficiency being brought about in terms of the advanced customs scanning technology, talking about the automated container terminals too, right? So with that, a lot of time has been slashed when talk about cargo dwell times. Okay, time has been well slashed from weeks to days, and of course the cost competitiveness that being able to accommodate larger vessels, so economies of scales can be easily unlocked, and freight costs can be lowered for businessmen, importers, exporters across Africa. Yes, and of course we also talk about the that demographic dividend that makes making Lagos a mega city, approximately 25 million people. We're talking about an average density exceeding 6,800 people per square kilometer. So, and we're talking about a mix of labor, of intellect, of ambitious entrepreneurs. That's the energy that you can just feel that is unmatched anywhere on the African continent. So even across Nigeria and across West Africa, a lot of migrants, thousands of migrants enter Lagos every day in search of greener pastures, in search of a better life, and because Lagos has opportunities, and not just for prospective people, residents, but also for businesses, because of the population. The market is there. So once the product is effective and acceptable, and it means one can scale very quickly and achieve massive results for stakeholders. So whether it's the fast-moving consumer goods corporations, or real estate developers, or health care providers, or telecom operators, that sheer volume of consumers, of that sheer population, gives that opportunity to scale quickly, for business models that are effective, that are delivering. And of course, I emphasize the youth dynamic, okay, and that energy, that while you have a high digital literacy level in Lagos, relatively, when compared to other African nations, all right. So, and look at the open air markets that you have in Balogun, in Lagos Island, or the Alaba International Market, okay, or and how that young population, that they adapt swiftly to changing market needs, how they adapt, and upskill to ensure that they are relevant, okay, in the Lagos of the future, and the world of the future, so that Lagos continues to be relevant, okay, as it goes, okay. And of course, that driving of consumer trends that also influence the entire African continent, so whether be it in entertainment, fashion, okay, that influence is there, and that use dynamic plays a significant role in all of this. And of course, clearly, when it comes to West Africa, you can state that Lagos operates as that financial nervous system that hosts critical institutions that actually bring together and redeploy capital across the sub-region significantly, and that role can be enhanced, okay, for the whole of Africa. Okay, that Lagos hosts the headquarters of the that is host the Nigerian exchange, all right, and of course corporate headquarters of major commercial bank conglomerates, multinationals, and so on and so forth. So by and large, established this as the financial capital of West Africa, and can be really enhanced to be can rival what we have in Johannesburg, in Cairo, and to be enhanced to actually be the financial capital of Africa. Lagos is well positioned because of all the unique factors. So yes, we also talk about the innovation in terms of financial technology and the influx of venture capitalists. All right, so that's intersection of finance and technology has actually transformed Lagos into that fintech capital of Africa, and that Yaba is emerging as that tech hub. All right, and when you look at companies like Flutterwave, Paystack, OPay, InterSwitch, yes, Paystack was acquired by Stripe and all that. So, and you see that these prominent and high-value tech companies actually birthed in Lagos. And if you look at their effect, their impact, all right, in terms of critical points, critical challenges for the African markets, and how these organizations have impacted in terms of financial inclusion, bringing in millions of unbanked and underbanked individuals under the formal digital economy, under the formal financial economy, right? Via agency banking and some through mobile wallets and all of that, and also how they've impacted cross-border remittances, right? So cross-border remittances are more seamless, right? So that you see that these payment corridors are more streamlined, all right, across these fragmented African nations, and that actually gives a solid foundation that's very important for the African continental free trade area that talked about that in a previous episode, and how Lagos is well positioned to actually move that forward and play a very pivotal role, okay, and also in terms of attracting foreign direct investment, because these organizations, these firms are viable, effective, and they are actually popular, bringing solutions for millions of Africans. So they actually draw global venture capitals, such as Tiber Global, SoftBank, and so on, and bringing in billions of dollars in investments directly into the Lagos technology ecosystem, right? So, and that is very, very, very important. So, and when we talk about Lagos, it's not just all consumption, right? And we also talk about production too, because Lagos is also an industrial powerhouse that has special economic zones, all right? So we must understand that Lagos is also a primary center of manufacturing, of processing, of real industrial, heavy industrial production, and that's why we have industrial zones in Ikeja, in Ilopeju, okay, and of course in Matori, okay, which were developed post independence to actually actualize import substitution strategies, all right, okay, and that actually impacts the currency, makes the currency stronger, okay, so there will be less demand for the dollar, which is the reserve currency or what as we see today. So, and so these factories, right, not just supply goods to Nigeria's domestic market, but also to the West African corridor, and of course all other African countries, talking about vital manufacturing clusters, that house large-scale plants for food processing, for consumer goods, for pharmaceuticals, okay, even construction materials, right, textile materials, all right. So, and understand that Lagos is not just about consumption, and we cannot talk about that without talking about the establishment of the Lekki Free Zone, okay, the free trade zone, which actually completely altered, redefined Lagos' industrial landscape. Okay, so the futurism actually they are designed as an integrated multifunctional industrial city, which giving robust business investments, fiscal incentives, all right, tax holidays, duty-free imports of raw materials, and streamlined and seamless regulatory approvals. And of course, the star boy of that area is the Dangote petrochemical complex, undoubtedly, which hosts the world's largest single-train petroleum refinery, alongside a world-scale urea fertilizer plants. Right? And just as the Lekki Deep Sea Port altered the trade dynamics along the West African corridor, it must be said that the Dangote refinery has fundamentally altered the energy dynamics across the continent, and is still going further in other African countries. So, talking about Indian product importation, dependence, very, very significant, okay, because Nigeria has been for long an importer of refined products, and so this will bring about the movement, that shift from being a structural importer of refined products into a major net exporter, okay, to other African countries. And of course, we're talking about the provision of vital raw materials to power local plastic packaging, manufacturing industries. Talking about downstream petrochemicals. Okay, so now that will actually power that industry too, not just ending product importation dependence, but also catalyzing downstream petrochemicals. All right, and of course, critical foreign exchange will be saved. There'll be less pressure and demand for dollar. There'll be less demand for the dollar because, of course, the importation of oil has been a very, very significant part of our demand for dollar importation bill. So that will actually help our balance of payments. Talking about the central bank, and help stabilize the macroeconomy, help more predictability in terms of international trade. And significantly, we want to talk about that Yaba hub, that the rise of that Yaba, that Silicon Valley in Yaba. Okay, maybe we can just say Yaba Con, all right, if that's acceptable as a okay, because actually we look at how Lagos has successfully transitioned into a dynamic knowledge economy, right, and having that reputation as Africa's foremost technology startup ecosystem, startup hub, right. So, and you have to understand the proximity, okay, to educational. You have to understand the location of educational institutions like University of Lagos, UNILAG, and Yaba Technical College of Technology, all right. And being able to provide human resources to power that up. All right. So, and you also look at the investments in the open access terrestrial fiber optic infrastructure. All right, and also look at co-working incubators that are at the grassroots level. All right. Like a co-creation hub, right? So you have a situation whereby young software engineers, designers of various products, entrepreneurs, right? They come together and build scalable applications that actually focus on real-world African issues, right? That actually go on to solve African challenges. All right, so talking with from transport logistics to off-grid renewable energy to traffic management, and so on and so forth. Right? So these factors have actually contributed and help make that Yaba that ecosystem of choice in Africa, which is as of now, is being on rival. Right? So, and you also look at the high capacity international subsea fiber optic cables, right? Uh, Google's Equano, Meta's to Africa, Main One, and also Glo1. Alright, so this dense digital infrastructure ensures that Lagos has that high-speed international bandwidth required to enable massive tier 3 data centers. Alright, so you're talking about digital infrastructure and subsea cables. So since Lagos is the primary land point for several high-capacity international subsea fiber optic cables, right? So and that actually is an enabler, okay, for the tech ecosystem. Okay, and you also have tech blue chips like Amazon Web Services that have established a physical presence, and also have dedicated cloud infrastructure zones in Lagos. So Lagos has actually secured its own status. That status as digital gateway to African continent is not up for debate at the moment. And when we look at the creative economy, okay, you look at ecosystems like Nollywood, you look like a product like Afrobeats, right, and look at that impact on global culture. So you can safely say that Lagos serves as a creative epicenter of Africa, right, as a creative capital of Africa, as a creative gateway of Africa, right. So, and you can see the impact on global culture, all right, and that has incredible potentials for soft power, okay, as long as we have ambitious leaders, okay. I mean, the kind of impact as Afrobeats has, okay, on the world, on global culture, okay, can actually be a potent form of soft power, like, and generates significant global influence and help bring about foreign direct investment, substantial investment, and bringing about the necessary injection flows into the economy if the ambitious leaders who can actually translate this influence, okay, into economic capital. Right? So, of course, Nollywood's evolution too, the commercial evolution and the transition from low budget direct to video formats into highly sophisticated multi-million dollar that film force, that's a cinematic force, right? So that Lagos is operational, okay. When I mean Lagos is significant when it comes to the operations, okay, and hosting major production studios. You have post-production facilities in Lagos. You have complexes and all that. So you have a situation where Lagos is very, very important in Nollywood's commercial evolution, as it were, right? And you also have global giants like Amazon Prime Video investing heavily in original Lagos produced content, and even Netflix at some point. But I know there are issues with Netflix along the line, but at least you see that this investment actually monetize that Nigerian narrative, that Nigerian perspective of storytelling for that global audience, okay, and that provides high-paying jobs for directors, scriptwriters, designers, set designers, digital animators, and all those who are involved in production, right? So, and that's very, very clear, okay. And talking about that Afrobeats explosion, okay, it's something that's so glaring, and that's the global dominance of the contemporary African music. And you have human resources like Burna Boy, Davido, Wizkid, Ashake, Kiss Daniel, Rema, and all of that do have actually transformed the music industry landscape into something very, very, very highly lucrative. So, and of course, Lagos is home to recording studios and agencies that actually optimize talents. You have lawyers that ensure great deals, and of course, the production companies that actually shape the creative economy, which actually powers Lagos. And of course, when you talk about that influence on the world, global culture, right, it actually also translates into the financial rewards, which in terms of digital streaming revenue, having millions of dollars in international royalties flowing back into the economy via platforms like YouTube, Apple Music, Audiomack, Spotify, and all the rest. And of course, talking about the cultural tourism and something like an event like a Dirty December in Lagos, which actually brings a lot of international visitors, members of the African diaspora to Lagos every December, and actually giving a boost, having a domino effect on the hospitality, retail sector, even the real estate, and of course the economy in general. Festivals, concerts, and the nightlife of Lagos actually draws international visitors, of course, and of course from across the continent yearly. And of course, when we talk in terms of fashion, and having local fashion houses that actually produce quality products, okay, and like Vodi and all of that, and they can actually be on par with their global counterparts, using quality inputs and having solid finishes, okay, to ensure that they are competitive globally. Okay. And with that, we've come to the end of today's episode. Until I come up on your devices again, please keep learning and keep impacting. God bless and bye-bye.
Harmogate, founded in 2008 out of a desire to build transgenerational structures for organizations, institutions, and nations. We have worked with large businesses, international development organizations, and public sector ministries and agencies. Harmogate, our uniqueness is that we do not just work for you, we work with you. For example, we do not leave you to the task after sourcing talent that will help the new hire settle into robust leadership development programs. We are technical experts in advising and supporting institutions on strategy and leadership, artificial intelligence, strategic human resource management, public sector reform, finance, audit and tax, FAT, and strategic communications. We do all this and more out of a desire to transform nations through institutions and organizations. For further inquiries, email contact@theharmogate.org or call +234 810 999 6666, +234 807 957 4151, and +161 0504 6026. www.theharmogate.org. Harmogate, building to endure and transforming nations through institutions and organizations.